Ray Kurzweil, the transhumanist, sad. Einstein, he can't figure it out. The physics of the man on the cross, the physics of what occurred, the wielding, the physics, the work, Greek word erge, that occurred there are beyond the sum total of human technologies, physics, and everything else. I'm not going to apologize to the people at CERN, but they're not going to reach out, grab a hold of God's hand, pull it into the atlas, clip off a little bit of his finger, and say, hey, we found it. God's just too big. They don't understand infinite in comparison to finite. So many don't understand the cross. George Norrie got me crying one night and got me yelling in the middle of the night in my house about 3 in the morning when I was listening to him. I forget who he was talking about, but they were talking about time travel. You know what he said? George Norrie says, I'd like to time travel back, and if I could, I'd go to the cross. I'd go to the cross right where Jesus was dying, and I'd see if I can take him down. I listened, and George Norrie then said, but you know, I don't think he'd let me. I literally yelled out in the middle of the night in the dark, George, you're absolutely right. This is your Savior. This is Messiah. This is God in human flesh. And He's come for you. He's dying for you. That's what will fix the sin code, the death code, Satan's rights. Shut the mouth of hell and give you the opportunity to be implanted with the Spirit of God, who is the deposit guaranteeing indestructible, irreversible immortality with the ability to see God face to face. Can CERN do that? Can the transhumanists do that? Can the geneticists do that? Come on, tell me, can Richard Dawkins do that? I hope he doesn't go angry to his grave and lose his soul. I hope Stephen Hawking doesn't die in that chair alone. The book of Acts is, to me, one of the most incredible demonstrations of God's presence, God's purpose, God's agenda in the world. And God has not backed away from His agenda until the very end. Are you saved? Do you know Christ? If you've come in from the NSA, the DID, the DOD, or Homeland Security to check it out so that you can tell old Janet that people that believe in prophecy are talking about strange things. Know this. Take this back to her. Nobody loves you more than God does. Nobody knows you better than God. Nobody wants you more than God. And the only way to be fixed is by what Christ, God, did on the cross. So don't ask me to be silent or be ashamed or to be quiet about what the angel said. Good news, great joy, a Savior. Not only died, but as Os Guinness, that wrote the book Dust of Death, says in the resurrection, He blasted apart the finality of death. You have a message that is astounding. And though we can't, on an infinite level, figure the physics of God in that, you can sure experience it. Washed, cleansed, freed, indwelt by the Spirit of God. Romans 8, if you have not the Spirit of Christ, you are none of His. If you go out of a conference with information, but you're lost and you die, you are toast, you are gone, you are lost forever. And God takes no pleasure in that. And so we ask you to come to Christ. We invite you to come to a Savior. We invite you to the words of God. Whosoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. We invite every believer to say, now is the day to ramp up your spiritual life, learning the power of God in the gospel, how Jesus heals, the power and the authority of Christ in dealing with the demonic realm, becoming to the point of Acts 5:42, where they never stopped. They seemed to be fearless. Nobody could stop them, jail them, beat them.